Hello everybody and welcome back to Typical City. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0. A goal and a game of pure luck that lands in Arsenal's favour. You win some, you lose some, and this is a game that was decided by luck at the end of the day. I don't think either team deserved to win. I do think a draw would have been a fair result. I don't think we've learned anything, and I think that's the key fact for City fans that are watching to take away from this, that there's nothing to worry about. This was City being disjointed. I don't think we were at our best. There was elements of our game that was okay. It took 3 substitutions in the second half to really start to see us click a little bit more into our usual style. But even then, it only took 3 substitutions from Arsenal 5 minutes later, and the game went back to being a bit of a mediocre, not really end-to-end. It was more phases of end-to-end, like 10 minutes at our end and 10 minutes at their end. Neither side were creating the clear-cut chances. The game could very well have gone a different way. If Nathan Ake in the first, 3 or 4 minutes puts that in the back of the net, which he should have done. I thought Nathan Ake was okay. I thought he didn't have a bad game. But he is the headline grabber from this game because he puts that over the bar in the first few minutes of the game. And then in the end of the game, he's smashing it off his face and deflecting into an open net. Pure luck. There was no skill involved from Arsenal winning that game. And that's the good thing from a City fan's perspective. I don't think we need to be all doom and gloom about this game because there was absolutely nothing about Arsenal that made me think long term, oh shit, they're a team to be scared of. Nothing scared me about Arsenal today. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But what did bother me a little bit was City's cohesion. And I think that's understandable this stage of the season with no Rodri in the middle of the park. I still felt like City could have done more. I'm just trying to find the chat just to say hi to you guys. I didn't make it disappear, but good to see a few of you in there already. Mad Hatter, good to see. A lack of creativity killed us again. Treble winners, Haaland, Bobbins again. Jack, not luck at all. We were shite. I booed the team off. Pathetic performance. No, I don't think we were bad. I don't think we were that bad. I don't think they were that good. I disagree, Jack. But their goal was luck, is what I'm talking about. That's lucky. You don't get much luckier than that. The guy Ederson was almost walking over, ready to catch it, and he just clips his face and goes into an empty net. There was nothing in the game to me that indicated Arsenal should win that game. Nothing. Chance creation. That was it. That was their main chance. There was a little flurry, a cross that was blocked from Gabriel Jesus in a very dangerous position. He was only about 4 yards out. There was no genuine opportunities. I don't remember Ederson pulling off a worldy save, do you? I don't remember anything from Ederson being peppered by shots. The same can be said the other way, though. That's the issue from a City fan's perspective, is there wasn't enough going forward the other way. And I think Haaland, Bobbins, again, treble winners. I think in the first half he was okay, involved himself, he was finding spaces. But he's just not involved enough, is he? He's just not involved at all. And it wasn't even because the defenders were stifling him today, because at most he was double-teamed by Gabriel and Silva, who are good team, 2 centre-backs to get double-teamed by. They're 2 that would do a number on you most of the time. But they were giving him a little bit of space here and there. He did drop deep every now and again, and it was like, it wasn't enough. There wasn't enough going forward from a City fan perspective. I'm just looking at the long term of the game. I think a lot of City fans now are going to look at the short term, and it's because we are fickle, aren't we? We're fans that look at the long term aspects of this game. Was there anything that genuinely made you think Arsenal are a force to be reckoned with, and last season's emotion, they've controlled that emotion, and they're able to mount a title challenge the same as they did last season, except go the full length of the season and genuinely win the title? There was nothing about them that made me think that at all today. If you're thinking that this was the genuine opportunity to beat Manchester City, there's no Rodri and there's no Kevin De Bruyne. That is, if you could hand pick the 2 players that you would remove, you'd probably choose Haaland, wouldn't you, if you're an Arsenal fan? But they probably don't know that he's bang out of form. If they don't watch him, they certainly know that. But the other 2 players that you would pick, I would pick Kevin De Bruyne, get him out, and Rodri, get him out. They weren't playing, so they had to win today. This was a must-win for Arsenal. It wasn't a must-win for us. I don't believe it was a must-win for City fans, because I think City fans should recognise that we were without Rodri, and we were without Kevin De Bruyne, and yeah, we didn't play great. I don't think it was shite. I think a lot of you are disagreeing with me. I think a lot of you are seeing a really poor performance today, and I don't think it was that bad. I think we lacked in creativity. And I mean, we should have got on their backs when the way we played against Newcastle and Wolves. That's the issue. That's the issue. Is this going to continue? Are we going to nip this in the bud? I mean, international break now is going to feel like a long, long slog, isn't it? Waiting to get the team back onto the pitch, play against Brighton, which I'm looking forward to a lot less than I was before this game, because Brighton are going to be no mugs. Of course they're not, and it makes that game a real difficult game that we're going to go up against Brighton. But I felt like there wasn't anything from Arsenal either. I don't think we need to go like, oh shit, that's it, Arsenal are going to win the league now. We'll see. We'll see. They said this last year. They said this last year and they hadn't even faced us. That they've still got to come away to the Emirates. The fact that there are other teams in this tournament, in this title race, Liverpool and Spurs are very much in the title race. They've all got to play each other and they're going to start taking points off each other. But yeah, saying that masks over our performance a little bit, I'll give you that. I'm not making excuses. I'm just making the idea clear that this is, 8 games in? There's 90 points available left to play for. So let's not get carried away. This is the other end of the spectrum. Arsenal fans and their emotions, they hit one end of the spectrum as they're going to win the league and nothing can stop Arsenal last season. Then this end, then come the end of the season, what a deflating end to the season. How bad is that? I've even heard Mikel Arteta out from Arsenal fans. If that was their chance to win it, then Mikel Arteta out. Plenty of Arsenal fans were saying that at the end of the last, not logical fans, not sensible fans, but I heard numerous Arsenal fans saying Mikel Arteta out at the end of last season. So that's what you're going up against in terms of emotions, and I think that floods into their team. We don't need to be like that. We don't need to be irrational and emotional because we've lost 1-0 to Arsenal, to a scummy, lucky deflected goal that trickles its way into an open net. The game didn't reflect a 1-0 result. I mean, 0-0 probably was a fair reflection of the game. There was no chances created by either side that were genuine. There was that Ake chance at the first half. Other than that, can you remember thinking, that was close, that was close for Arsenal? No, 0-0 was a fair reflection. If anything, it could have ebbed just our way because of those Alvarez blocking down David Raya. On another day, there's your luck. David Raya clearing the ball, Alvarez blocking it. He almost blocked it too well. If he gets a poorer block on that, rather than the angle being straight at him and straight back out for a goal kick, it could have hit him at a more of an angle and deflected into an open goal. And we could be talking about 2-0 at City at that point. So these little moments, these little details mattered today. And in this particular game, I don't think we need to get too panicky about the results. I really don't. I think the performance is more of a concern. I agree with the performance being a little bit creatively lacking, but I still don't think it was like, we're all over the place. We look a disaster. We don't look a bad team at all. We did well in spells of this game. We pinned Arsenal back and they pinned us back at times. I think it was a 50-50 game. The stats reflected that. In the first half, we had 55%. They had 45%. I can't remember how the game actually ended up, but it was close to that. About 10-15 minutes into the game, it was about that. So I really don't think it's time to, shit the bed, City fans. Let's not do it. A few of you in the chat already. Jax, yeah, I agree. I'm sick of seeing Kyle Walker so far up the attacking side at all time. That's an issue from today's game as well. I thought Gvardiol was good. I don't ever want to see them crossing the ball, though. If you pick that, I didn't really understand Pep's formation in the first half, which was 2, 3, 4, 1, with Ake and Diaz as the 2. In front of them was Bernardo Silva, is incredibly deep, and Kovacic and Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis, who should never have come off the pitch. I think that was a poor substitution. He should have stayed on the pitch for me. And those 3 in front of those 2, and then in front of them was Foden and Alvarez, and then really far up the pitch, out wide, crossing the ball in left, right and centre, it was Gvardiol and Kyle Walker, who obviously when we didn't have the ball had to get back, but that's the role they had today, getting up and down the pitch, and I know Kyle Walker can do it, and he did an alright job of it. But when you talk about creativity and getting the ball in, crossing the ball from the byline or crossing it from a deeper angle, and you're expecting Erling Haaland to get on the ball on the end of those crosses, who do you want crossing it? I could name 8 City players that I would rather have crossing the ball, maybe more, than Kyle Walker and Gvardiol. I'd have Kovacic, Alvarez, Foden, obviously Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden. There are plenty of players, Nunes, all these creative players that we should have crossing the ball from dangerous positions. Instead, we resorted to Kyle Walker crossing it in and Gvardiol crossing it in, and the crosses weren't good enough. And, I mean, what do you expect? Kyle Walker's, that's not his game. Gvardiol, that's not his game. And I don't think Gvardiol had a bad game, and I don't think Kyle Walker had a bad game. I just think they're being asked to do things that are a little bit above what they're capable of, just a little bit. Kyle Walker's okay going forward, but he's not like João Cancelo. And I'm not saying let's get Cancelo back. No. What a bad egg. Get him out. He can piss off, as far as I'm concerned. Done with Cancelo. But there's some middle ground there between creatively able players like Cancelo and not so creatively able players like Kyle Walker. Rico Lewis, I'd see him crossing the ball. He could have played that role in Kyle Walker's role today. Has he got the engine to get up and down the right wing like Kyle Walker? I just felt it was odd. That first half formation was odd. It didn't get punished. It didn't offer much threat either. There was a 10-minute spell when Doku, Nunes, and who else came on? Slipping brain fart, can't remember who else came on. But the three John Stones, when those three came on, they was like, oh, fucking hell, dictating the play here. We're passing it around really nicely, creating not chances, but opportunities to create chances, if that makes sense. Getting closer to the edge of their box, pinning Arsenal back and looking lively, passing the ball around. It looked good. The setup looked good. Bernardo Silva are more advanced. I felt happier with that. It looked better straight away. And all it took was them to make 3 substitutions for it to go a little bit back to the old ways of the game, where we were really struggling to knock it about, and Arsenal grew a little bit, and they didn't even change their system. Their 3 substitutions was energy. It was fresh legs. Our 3 substitutions was a complete flip of the script, changing the system entirely. And it worked for 10 minutes, and it was just frustrating that we didn't punish them, and it really is frustrating. But yeah, thanks very much, guys. If you could drop a like on the stream as well, there's 166 of you in the building so far. If you could drop a like on the stream. Not an enjoyable video to like, I understand that, but it does help me continue doing things like this and help bring opinions to you and insights and whatnot. Not that insightful, is it really? I'm just pissed off. But shite is a word that I'm quite prepared to use, because this is shite, this feeling. A bitter pill to swallow, but you take it on the chin, Blues. Take this on the chin. Take the L, absorb all of it, and you use it. You go away and you fuel it. You use it as fuel to get angry. You do if you're a player anyway. If I'm City and I'm Pep, I'm sitting there, I'm going into training, whatever it may be, Monday morning, tomorrow morning, even if they're in training, I don't know, probably not. But whenever they're next, all together as a squad, learning, you use this. You use this. And it could be a real kick up the backside, a real rocket up the arse that we need to go forward now. And I mean, where we are in the league is what we're kind of used to at this stage of the season. I think we're taking this as more of a bitter pill to swallow, because we were top at the start of the weekend and we watched Spurs go and win, and Arsenal obviously beat us, thank God. Liverpool only drew, and now we've dropped down the table as a result. But we're one game away from being back up there. One swing of the results from Arsenal and Spurs and we're back up there. So there's absolutely no reason to panic. And to be where we are, the aim is to be within touching distance come Christmas. And if we're in touching distance come Christmas, then what the strides will start to take shape. The juggernaut of Manchester City will start to chug and chug and chug, and we'll do it. We'll do it again. So keep believing. Keep believing. There's no reason to let this result hit too hard, and almost let the babies have their bottles, because 12 games without a win against Manchester City, that is embarrassing. It's a flaky results against Manchester City, and finally they've managed to do it through a scrappy not an own goal, but almost was an own goal. It was deflected so harshly. Same sort of luck they got in the Community Shield with Trossard's 110th minute equaliser. That absolute nonsense, the amount of time that was added on in the Community Shield with Trossard deflecting it in. Same amount of luck. And then they go and win on penalties. That's luck. The game has luck involved. There's no shame to admit that there's luck involved. And City have benefited from luck every now and again, here and there. But eventually, class will shine through. Quality will rise to the surface and defeat luck. Because luck can only get you so far. It will. And I think right now, this game made me feel nothing towards Arsenal's title challenge that's any different than last season. There was nothing about this game that made me feel, oh no, they really are up for it. The Gunners are gunning for it this year. They really are a genuine title threat. No more than they were last season. No more than they were last season. No way. Absolutely no chance. Sorry I've been ignoring you in the chat. I'm feeling stressed and, yeah, sorry. Timmy, look at the table. Looking good. Top 6 killing each other. City will prevail. The whistle was already blown, mate. Why do you think the Arsenal players stopped playing and stood still? I don't know what's gone on there, but I think for this squad we need depth and not rely on singular players for wins, says Mindo further up in the chat. Agreed, Jonny, says the Mad Hatter. Already through, says Darren. AK, good to see so many of you in the chat. Really do appreciate it. Guys, if you could drop a like on the stream. I know there's probably a few Arsenal fans watching going, we'll see where we are at the end of the season. Enjoy your laugh, because he who laughs last laughs the loudest. And I laughed incredibly loudly at the end of last season, and there's absolutely no reason why I won't be laughing at the end of this season. With the treble winners Blues, do not forget that. Do not forget that. Make sure you jam it down their throat every time you hear it, that we're in a real trouble now. City, you're going to hear plenty of headlines that are going to destroy the image of City. I dare them to say the word crisis. I dare them, because that would be laughable. I mean, to call this treble-winning side in a crisis, I mean, form, not good. Champions League win against RB Leipzig sort of like slipped in between 3 very average performances, 3 terrible results, 3 average performances, bordering on poor. I mean, that Newcastle performance was bordering on poor. Wolves, again, not good. But today, I don't think we were bad. I don't think we were bad. I don't think it needs to be that doom and gloom. But Pep needs to take some of the blame. Poor tactics, no wings. I think you're right, One Voice, MCFC. I think the Pep did try a little bit too much today. For me, it was just pick the RB Leipzig team, except for Rodri, of course, who can't play, and play that same way. Kovacic just comes in for Rodri and play the same way. Play exactly the same way, but instead tucking Bernardo Silva right in between Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake. We didn't lose because of that, thankfully, but that was 45 minutes wasted almost. Whereas if Bernardo Silva being in the controlling aspect of his particular game and City's game overall, we would have been playing in their half a lot more if Bernardo Silva was out on the right, stretching them, and Foden was on the left. I think Doku could have started, and then I tell you what, I know I'm a massive Doku fan, there's big Doku fans on here, no doubt. He didn't come on and do well. Absolutely not. He was giving it away, and he was struggling, and he was trying to beat his player from left back and dribbling it out, getting caught and winning throw-ins for Arsenal. I don't think his impact coming off the bench was as good as it could have been compared to the impact he had against RB Leipzig, which was frightening quality that he brought onto the pitch. But tonight, he looked raw, and he looked a little bit out of his depth. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Doku had a good game when he came on. I thought John Stones was good when he came on, looked assured, a little bit almost too cool at times. A little bit of link-up player. I think Nunes is getting a bit of stick in the chat I'm seeing, and I don't think he did badly. I thought Kovacic was a fucking headbanger in the beginning of the game. What the fuck was he thinking? In that first half, he should have been sent off, to be honest. And I know, City fans will think, I think he got away with that. For me, if you're a City fan and that was an Arsenal player, if Declan Rice had done that, and that was a second yellow card offence, potential offence, you're screaming for it. You're screaming for it, because there was very little difference between the first yellow card and the second yellow card that wasn't given. And Kovacic was very lucky to be coming off that pitch as a player of the 11 at half-time. Could have been 10 men. And this game could have been ugly, and we could have been looking at another suspension for another player. But, I mean, Blues, let's not get too hurt about this. I will be doing my player ratings tomorrow. Thanks very much for joining me in the chat. Again, if you can drop a like on your way out of the stream, it would be hugely appreciated. Please do. I know it's shit, this video. I know it's shit watching City talk about negative stuff. We're not used to it, but you have to get used to it. I'm used to it. I've done it all my life. I spent 20 years talking about City being shit. This is nothing new to me. In fact, this is a fucking walk in the park compared to what we're used to. So don't let it hurt you too much. There's nothing to worry about yet. Absolutely nothing to worry about, because this is a cakewalk. We're fucking third in the Premier League, you know what I mean? I'll snap your hand off for third in the Premier League. Let's see where we are at the end of the Premier League season. Do not worry, Blues. Do not worry. Please drop a like on your way out of the stream. It would be hugely appreciated, and I will see you in the next one.